Hi ladies, it's Tracy McMillan here from Forge Legal, and today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips on what to do when you are separating with children. So tip number 1 is take the children with you if you can. Make sure you're not doing it in a violent battle. There's no physical fighting over the children. I don't want that to happen. But if you can, make sure that you're taking the children into your custody when you leave. If you want to, make sure you're orchestrating your separation in a way or at a time where the other party isn't around if you think that's going to end up in some physical violence or an assault. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is do not deny the time between the children and the other parent. If you do and you end up in the family court, it is going to look very bad for you, because it means that you are withholding time. If you're going to withhold time, then it can only be for very extreme reasons, like severe domestic violence or something like that. But even in that time, get yourselves into a contact center to make sure there is time that's happening. So third tip is to go through mediation. So if you want to get into the family court for orders in relation to your children, you have to go through mediation anyway. So there are free services out there that can do mediation, but what it is you have a third party who comes in and assists both parties to come to an agreement in relation to the children. So that's very important, and try and exercise that process before you ever go into the court process, because court is not a place you really want to be unless you have to. My fourth one is to come to an agreement in relation to the children. It can be a really informal agreement between the two of you if there's no hostility, or it can be a parenting plan, which is an informal written agreement. Or if you want them to be able to be enforced, then get a consent order, which is a document that goes off to the court, and the court put a red stamp on it and make it binding. Whatever it is that you decide to do, an agreement in place is really important so that everybody knows where the children are going to be, what time they're having with both parents, and any other special needs, etc., that need to be factored in. And my fifth, and I stress probably one of the most important tips I will give you, is do not use your children as a pawn, as a weapon against your ex-partner. If you do, yes, it's going to look bad for you in a court, and a judge is going to be really angry at what you're doing. But that's not the biggest loss you're going to have. The loss you're going to have is the damage that you're going to do to your children, and they're going to grow up to hate you. And if you think that that won't happen, they will, because they do not want to be involved in your conflict. They do not want to be withheld from spending time with the other party unless you get a certain item or unless they do a certain thing. It is really important that you do that, because at the end of the day, your children are the most important factors here. So anyway, that's my top 5 tips for you for separating. If you want any further information, by all means, jump on our website. We have a lot more information there. Otherwise, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to talk to you. I look forward to seeing you in the future.